This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. We're at the Bollinger Design Group. Since 1986, they have been providing full-service interior design for clients of commercial as well as residential throughout Denver and the state. They're a proud member of the American Society of Interior Designers. That is the Bollinger Design Group. I am here with the owner and founder. Pat, thank you for joining us today. Let me ask you, first of all, obviously with a formal education in interior design, even going on teaching the trade, what got you involved in this creative industry?
Well, I've always loved interior design and creating spaces that work for people and that support their lifestyle and their work style.
Wonderful. Let me ask you this. I've interviewed quite a few professionals, and one thing I'm finding over and over is that it pays to hire a professional. Why is it a lot of folks want to open up a magazine, and what are some of the risks involved if they venture out on their own as their own interior designer?
Well, when you open up a magazine, you don't know what's gone into that design. Everything is different in your own home. The lighting is different, the color palette's different, the scale of the room is different. There is no similarity between your house and that house. So when you want that look, the best way to get it is to hire a professional.
Wonderful. Not only are you taking a lot of the stress away, I would imagine, because it's got to be overwhelming, but honestly, you can save a person time as well as money.
Absolutely. We save people money all the time. We prevent the screw-ups. Is that okay to say?
Sure, you betcha.
We prevent the sofa from not fitting through the door. Sometimes it looks really small in the furniture store, but when you get it home, it's not so small. So we can help by actually scaling the furniture appropriately for the room.
Wow.
And with commercial space, we can help by looking at the workflow and looking at who relates to whom in the workplace.
So we're talking about more than appearance. We're talking about functioning, making it usable for commercial as well as residential. A lot of behind the scenes going on. We're talking about building codes sometimes you may need as far as project management. You do all that.
Absolutely. And we pride ourselves on our awareness of building code and make sure that when we're doing something, we do it to current code. And oftentimes when you have a property that was built in the 60s or 70s or 80s, the building code has changed dramatically. So we can bring that property up to current code.
Wonderful. One of the clarifications I want to put out there for some of the consumers, why don't you clarify for them the difference between a decorator and a designer?
That's one of my favorite subjects. A designer is trained with education and experience and testing so that hopefully we avoid some of the mistakes. A decorator, typically somebody will say, oh, I have a friend that does that. She has a real flair. Well, hopefully your designer not only has a flair, she's got the knowledge to back it up. We run into situations where the decorator has made some mistakes and may not be aware of code and some of the other issues that are involved in remodel work or some of the other work that we do. A designer is trained to do that.
Wonderful. So you're basically saying that not only can you save them some money, but really keep yourself out of trouble as well,
Yes.
because that can happen. Let me ask you this. It seems like to me a decorator works within the walls that you give them, but you as a designer, you can move walls and you can expand.
Yes. Well, in fact, that's what we do. The decorator may say, let's paint that wall green, and the designer may say, let's move that wall.
Interesting. Let me ask you this. What is some of the preparation that somebody could come to the table with when they decide to sit down with you? Is it nice for them to have some ideas, basically have some photographs, magazines? Does that help?
Very helpful. And one of the other things that we do that I think makes us a little bit unique is we have a sheet that we use that has lists of words, just words, and we give it to the clients. And if it's a couple, we have them each fill it out separately from each other or together, it doesn't matter. But one of the things that it does for us is it allows us to see how they're alike and how they're different. Because we have to design for the whole family or both people, not just one or the other. Our goal is to have it so that when you come home, and residential is primarily what we do, when you come home, you walk in that door, It is your space. It is, I'm home.
I'm home.
I'm
a,
home.
a real personal approach is what you're
Yes.
taking. I
Yes.
imagine there has to be a great communication open between everybody involved. And how important is it for somebody to pick a designer that they feel comfortable with, as well as confident they can handle that task?
It's absolutely critical. Working with a designer is probably one of the most intimate things that you're going to do, because this designer needs to know how you live, what your lifestyle is, what your favorite things are, what makes you comfortable, how you entertain, if you have children, if you have pets, if you have long-haired pets, or if you have shedding pets.
Wow.
It's going to impact what the designer does. Obviously, you're not going to put a dark-colored sofa in somebody's home that has a light-colored shedding dog. It doesn't work real well.
So you're definitely thinking of things that your average consumer out there would just really wouldn't think about. And that's why a lot of mistakes can be made, it seems like.
Absolutely. And again, our goal is to save people money and to keep them from having to redo it. We also try to keep the basics neutral so that you can change up your look just by changing some accessories. But the basics stay pretty basic and pretty neutral so that you don't get tired of them over the years.
Well, like you said, if a person walks into the residential home, they want to feel it's their home. But obviously, you're known for more than just residential. You do commercial work as well.
Yes, we do.
Someone out there who's got $1 million project on the line, you've been successful in the past. Tell us what you offer.
We can do everything from conceptual work, helping and working with the architect or the builder right out of the gate. That's one of the things we really like to do. And we can take it all the way through to completion. We've done projects that were in excess of $1 million. And we worked with buildings that were sitting vacant for 8 years. And we've actually brought them up to speed. We have made them function in such a way that they support the activities that are going on in that space. And in working with the builder and the developer, we've done that. So clubhouses, community houses, condominium lobbies, corridors, hallways, taking it to a level so that people, again, feel comfortable in the space and it supports their lifestyle and work style.
So when you're talking about full service, that's what it is. We're talking about from concept to the design, to the budget, to the contracting, everything in between, all the way down to the finishing.
Right. Last year we did a corporate apartment. And we did everything, including the towels on the rack and the dishes in the cabinet, the silverware, the art, everything, right down to people being able to walk in. We even had the wine in the fridge and crackers for hors d'oeuvres. So full service is definitely what we do.
I love it. Folks, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website information. Go on the website there, take a look at the team you're going to be dealing with there. Also see the different services. You can even download a company profile right there as well. Make sure you do one thing, and that is check out their portfolio. Obviously, if you're looking for a designer out there, you want to make sure you get some referrals out there. Sit down with them, get comfortable, because like she said, it's a very intimate project that you're both venturing out on together. Let me ask you, obviously, the consultation's done, the technical drawings have been confirmed, construction is on its way. It seems, is it one of the funnest parts actually the finishing and, like you said, down to that last minute detail?
Yes, absolutely. You get to create a space, and then you get to walk in and see what you've done, and hopefully have some real happy clients.
Wonderful. Speaking of happy clients, obviously every client, it's got to be fun for you when they look at you and say, boy, you just pulled it right out of my mind and got it down for me. How nice is it to get some of your work published? Because I know you've been published in the past.
It's awesome to open up that magazine or that newspaper and see your work there. It's like, wow, we did that. This is great. So it's terrific.
Wonderful. Folks, once again, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. We're talking about the Bollinger Design Group. They're part of the American Society of Interior Designs, proud members, and basically they're going to help you put together a creative space that is not only unique, but it's versatile and it's personalized just for you. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.